What is up, guys? Today we've got the Galaxy S10 versus the Galaxy Note 9. So let's talk about these two older flagships. I got a great question. Which one should I buy? Because they're actually priced at the same price right now. So a Note 9 is running like $288, and then an S10 is running $250 in the used refurbished marketplace. These are both refurbished phones. So let's go ahead and break this down. Which one should you get here? And I guess we can start off with the hardware. That's kind of like a solid difference here. Note 9, as you can see, is just much bigger, much heavier phone here. Pretty much the same button layout, power button, volume rockers, Bixby button, headphone jack, stereo speakers, USB Type-C. Where we get into our first major differences, and this is why the Note 9 is retaining its value over the S10, is because simply, oh my god, please stop. It's because simply the, alright. Let me mute this. Alright, so it's simply because, simply because the stylus. Alright, so the stylus on here is pretty much what's making this thing retain its value. There's not a lot of phones with a stylus. So if you're somebody that wants a stylus because you like to, you know, jot down notes, or even if you just want the stylus to really just navigate around Android, you just want to do it this way for some reason. And I know a lot of people that like the whole stylus thing. It's got this cool little clicky thing on it, and also the stylus, I can take a photo with this thing. Like if I had a selfie and I just wanted to do it like that, you can see, boom, and it goes ahead and snaps the photo. And also people that like to do artwork on their phones, this is a great stylus for artwork. It's very accurate. I can't draw some, I can't show you that, but you can do that. So that is something that the Note 9 has over the S10 just right off the bat here. Now, as far as display quality, this kind of, it is really dependent on the person. So they pretty much match in displays, but the S10 sort of has a better display as far as on paper. So the Note 9 has a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display with HDR. It's a 1440p display, 516 for the PPI. It has no notch or punch hole. Yes, it does have just a little bit of, more bezel than the S10, but they are pretty much matched in terms of display quality. And you have a dynamic AMOLED display on the S10, but it has HDR10 Plus. It's a 6.1-inch display, 1440p, 550 for the PPI. So as far as like the sharpness and the colors, I really can't tell a difference between the display quality here. Obviously, you have the punch hole. Some people hate the punch hole, some people don't mind it. And the S10 has a slight curve to the display here as well. But I think both displays are great. It really comes down to, do you want a punch hole or do you not want a punch hole? Do you want a smaller display or do you want a bigger display? So that is really up to the person. But as far as, image quality or screen quality, they are pretty much the same looking displays here. You really cannot tell a difference besides those, those minor differences I laid out there. So overall, displays are great on both. I would honestly say it's kind of a tie because you do get that HDR10 Plus, which you don't have on the Note 9. Now, as far as speed, this is also a, thing here. So the Note 9 is running Android 10. It's running One UI 2.5. Snapdragon 845, Adreno 630. The S10 is running Android 11, One UI 3, Snapdragon 855, Adreno 640. What does that mean? The S10 has newer software. It's going to get Android 12. The Note 9 will not. So I know there's some stuff you can do with XDA and, rooting the phone. Most normal people are not going to, they're not going to take the time to root their phone and do all that stuff. So you will get, just more OS updates on the S10 here. So that is something to think about. This does technically have it is a faster phone, but if we get into a speed test, it's not like it's gonna blow it out of the water. The 855 versus the 845, like you will notice a difference. I think there might be a difference in PUBG as far as like graphics. There might be, if I remember. We'll go ahead and launch it. As you can see, speed wise, they're like neck and neck with each other. Honestly, there's no way that this is like it's gonna be something that's super noticeable. Yes, it's a hair faster here, but if we do launch PUBG here, I think you get better graphics on here. So if you're a gamer, you probably are leaning more towards the S10. If gaming is something that you do a lot on your phone, I would go with the 855 over the 845. But let's see here because I can't remember. see which one gets in here faster. S10 got in here faster. Now it does kind of load games up a little bit snappier. Come on, man. Alright. Okay, so 855 PUBG, Extreme, Ultra HD. And then Extreme, yeah, it's not even close. Yeah, this does Extreme all the way up. This one just does Ultra, and then you can't go to Ultra HD. So you will have that overall, that better gaming experience on, you know, the S10 for sure here. All right, so let's talk about your additional features here. Yes, both these phones are IP68 dust and water resistant as well. They both have micro SD support. They both have 128 gigs of internal storage on them, 6 gigs of RAM on the Note 9, 8 gigs of RAM on the S10, and that is on the base model. So yeah, they're both really fast phones. They both have a ton of storage, and yeah, so that's not going to be an issue on these two devices, which is great here. They also both, like I said, retain the headphone jack as well. And if we get into our just additional features here, you can see that both of these phones have the Samsung desktop experience on here. They both have secure folders. They both have, you know, the built-in screen recorder, Dolby Atmos, Samsung Kids, all the stuff that you would love, NFC, all that stuff is going to be on here. So even though this is running older software, it's not like it's missing out on really anything, and it is still getting security patches as well. So I don't want you guys to get confused by that. But a lot of your little software features, they are going to be still on the Note 9. Into the speaker quality, so do we have Dolby Atmos on? Make sure. Yes. And yes. Alright, cool. Note 9 has more bass. The S10 is louder though. Yeah, the S10 is definitely louder, but the Note 9 has more bass there. I can actually hear the 808s really clearly. Yeah, it's just a slight difference in terms of sound quality. So again, this one more bassy, this one overall louder. Now let's talk about getting into the phone. So the Note 9 has the traditional physical fingerprint scanner on the back, and it works very fast, no issues. You also have face unlock on this phone, and you do have a in-display one, so it's a little bit more of a fancy way of getting into your phone with the in-display fingerprint sensor. And it really comes down to, do you want your sensor on the front or on the back? So I 100% prefer mine's usually on the front if I have to choose, but I wouldn't choose. I don't like either of these two methods. I actually prefer the way the S10e does it, and it puts it in the power button. I absolutely love that method. I think that's my favorite one, but they both work fast. Yeah, the physical one is going to feel slightly faster because it's physical, but this one is really fast though, so I have zero complaints. You can also do face unlock on this one as well. Alright, let's talk about the camera. So starting with the Note 9, dual camera setup, 12 megapixel standard, 12 megapixel telephoto on here. And this has great cameras. You have a 8 megapixel selfie with 1440p video. It takes really good photos still. Both of these phones, the Note 9's photos are actually just really good. So I have zero issues with it, as you can see from these stills here. Great color, great detail. It just does an excellent job. So I was super impressed with both of these phones. Video is pretty solid. I think the photos have just aged really well on here. You won't really be disappointed with either of these guys. So where the S10 comes in, it has a triple camera setup. So you do get an extra camera. So you have a 12 megapixel standard and a 12 megapixel telephoto, and you have a 16 megapixel ultra wide on here. So I would go with the S10 as far as cameras solely because you have a ultra wide lens. The Note 9 has no ultra wide lens, so take that into consideration. A lot of people love the ultra wide. That is a pretty important secondary camera. You have a 10 megapixel selfie that also shoots in 4K, which the Note 9 cannot. And like I said, excellent image quality on both. They do a such a great job with image quality for older flagship phones, as you can see. So just super impressed with both of these phones. What about your battery situation here? So on the Note 9 here, we have a 4,000 milliamp battery on here, 15 watt charging with wireless charging. On the S10, we have a slightly smaller 3,400 milliamp battery with wireless charging, as well as 15 watt charging. There is also something that the Note 9 cannot do. So let me show you guys. It's called reverse power sharing. Let me pull it up here, and I don't know, I can't do it. My battery is dying. But basically, I've showed it off a ton of times. Basically, you can charge up anything and use this like a wireless pad. So if I had some headphones or even the Note 9, I can just put it on here, put it on the back, and it would charge up. So that is something that you do have that the Note 9 does not have. It's a cool little thing just to show off to people. So yeah, that is pretty much it. You will get better battery life on the Note 9. It just has the bigger battery, so it just lasts longer to me. So what do you guys think? Which phone are you guys going with? Be sure to let me know. I'll catch you guys in the next one.